Take 2. So, due to some technical difficulties, stop ko yung first part. So, hopefully, makapag-join na siya this time. I don't know what's happening kasi alam ko yung kay Beth and Gail, in-approve niya lang yung invitation to me. Or siya yung nag-request dito sa live. Invite group member. Ayan, oo. Tulad niya, ni-invite na naman kita. Hi, Chris! Sorry guys may technical difficulties tayo Medyo mahirap talaga sa live ng Facebook. So, we are waiting for Sir Ian to join our live. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. Sensya na So, hopefully, maka-join na siya. Kung maayos kasi sayang yung oras. Magto 30 minutes na tayo. Wala pa tayo na pag-uusapan. So, singin muna ako guys. Wait lang. Hindi ko na kaya. Saan na siya? Asaan na siya? Diba, absent-minded ako. Hinahanap ko yung lighter. Ito yung hawak ko. Baka di allowed ang FB app ni Ian na mag-take ng pics video use camera. Nasa settings yun ng permission Oh, talaga? May option na gano'n. Ayan. Nagwa-watch na siya ulit. Pero, saan ka na ba? Sabi mo dadating ka iwan mo na ako. Charot lang. Yung penny ko dito sa tingin sa akin. Bakit ka na kasi mango? Ayan. Lynn Kuya is watching. So, ano ka magjo-join dito, Frenny? Paano ba? Watching ka lang. So, ayun. Teka. Sana ito na. Yes! Finally! After 48 years. Yan na. Sana siya. Okay. Asa ka na? In-accept ko na. Approve. Click the green button na. Opo, you're adding na po. On process na po. Asa ka na po, kuya. Adding pa lang dito sa screen ko Baka may kailangan kang i-accept dyan, kuya. Pa-check naman. Ano muna tayong juice? Wala audio? May naririnig niyo ako, guys? Can someone tell me? Ay, yung tropa ko dyan, si Puknoy. Hi, Janjan. Miss you. Humina po audio. Teka lang, wait. Ayan, okay na. Okay na ba? May sound na. Medyo mahina. Nawala ang audio. Ayan. Okay naman to. Okay naman siya. Ayan, naririnig niyo ba ako? Okay na. Meron na po. Ayan, okay na. So, ganito na lang ako. Ganyan, hawak kong ganyan. Asa ka na, Sir Ian? Sana lahat pwedeng mag-live habang nasa call. Wala ko shift ngayon ST ko ngayon. Okay na. Ayan na. Ang cute-cute talaga nito ni Sir Ian, oh. Ayan, adding ka na ulit. Connecting. Ayun na. Nakita na kung pagbabago. Medyo
Ayan. Is this clear na ba?
yung sound pero pixelated yung hindi ko masyadong makita. Clear ba tayo? Clear ba? Naririnig mo ako, sir? Can you hear me? Ghost call. Ghost spill. Hello po, can you hear me? Thank you for calling. I didn't hear any voice on the other line. If you can hear me, say hello. Naririnig mo ako, sir?
Yes, RV.
Para ka nasa ilalim ng ako nga. Sobrang feedback siya. Baka dun sa port, hindi kita marinig. Kasi yung ako ng port. Sakit sa tenga. Yan.
RV, hello.
Mag-hi ka naman. Hi na, sir? Sir, sumagot ka. Usapin mo ko. Sir. Sir, hello po. Tao po. Pabinielo, sir. I cannot hear you, sir. Wala.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Ayan.
Narinig mo
I
ako?
can hear you na.
Hello.
Opo. Pero medyo mahina. Kayo guys, naririnig niyo ba si sir?
Ayan, can you hear me na? Hello. Sige, lakasan ko na lang.
Sige, ayan. Sorry Ang dami nating technical difficulties tonight. Alright, so hello. Good evening. And welcome sa BPO Secret Files Live. So, ginagawa kasi namin to every week to recap kung ano yung mga post namin sa group. So, naririnig mo ako?
Yes, loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Okay. So, patayin ko lang yung electric fan. Wait lang. Alright, ako. Okay, game. So, bago tayo mag-start ng dons, can you introduce yourself to everyone? Batiin mo naman sila.
Of course. First of all, hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening to all the graveyard warriors, mga bayaning puyat. Thank you for the opportunity to be in this platform, especially to the BPO Secret Files. Well, my name is Lian, but you can call me Ian. In the industry, mas kilala ako si Ian. I've been in the industry for about 8 or 9 years, since 2012. Getting to know ba to? So I've been in the industry for about 8 years, going 9 years. Started my career as an agent with SPI Global. Dito, so yes po, nag-agent din ako before and worked my way to become a project manager ngayon. So I'm working as a project manager for Acquire Philippines Asia.
Oh, okay. All right. So, thank
So
you.
I've been EL, nag-operations manager, and now I'm working as a project manager for Acquisition.
Salute, sir. Alright,
That's
so,
on
ayun na
my
nga.
professional side, on the professional side. On the On the advocacy side, RV, very quickly, ano, I'm also the former national president of the BPO Industry Employees Network, or BN Philippines. BN Philippines is the only recognized labor association by the Department of Labor. So, as a labor association, we have a legal identity in representing BPO workers in any cases, labor-related cases. Yun.
Okay. Tapos na? Sorry, hindi kita masyadong marinig. Okay, thank you.
Yes po,
So,
sorry.
sorry. So, you were a former president of this organization wherein uh, if ever na may mga reklamo yung mga agents natin with the companies, you are the one who can represent them. Tama ba ako na pagkakaintindi? Nag-praise
Yes,
siya.
that's true. In fact, uh, that's correct, RV. No? There was a time na we handled in 1 month. No, there was a time that we handled more than 200 cases, and I'm happy to say na in all of those cases that we've handled, lahat yun na ipanalo namin. The only case na natalo kami was when deliberately may kasalanan talaga si agent. So I think that was back in 2015 or 16 if hindi ako nagkakamali there. So yun, that's mainly our advocacy, no, for the protection, rights and welfare of BPO.
Okay. Thank you for that. Kasi I want our members to understand kung ano ba tong live na to. Kasi technically, you're not an employee of DOLE, but at least you represent um, people or employees who wants to file a complaint. Kasi ang nagiging problema is um, dala ng mga emosyon nila, ang nangyayari, they're gonna run on social media, tapos hindi na, at the end of the day, hindi naman nare-resolbahan yung issues nila with the company. So I really appreciate when you posted dito sa group yung una tayong nagkausap that you were like having a committee meeting, no? Can you explain about that? Can you tell us more about it?
Sure. Yes, RV. So just want to piggyback on what you said. Kadalasan sa experience natin in the BPO industry or even in any company or any industry, pag may problema tayo sa kumpanya natin, our primary means of dito of ranting is through social media. Na
Yeah.
yung outlet natin to yung galit, yung emotion, yung frustration natin is social media. Na hindi natin alam na may mga grievance processes yung mga kumpanya natin. If you remember during our orientation, sabi sa kumpanya man yan, sinasabi sa atin ng mga HRBPs or na they have due process, that they have an existing grievance process kung meron man mga problema ang mga employees. Most cases, nakakalimutan natin ito or instances, most than not, nawawala yung tiwala natin na yan. Maybe because we are afraid of retribution. When we say retribution, napag ng PL, ng manager, or ng HR. And kadalasan, at yung kalakaran sa industriya natin, sa mga kumpanya natin, may mga ganong tendencies talaga. That's why, if we encounter these cases, natatakot tayong magsumbong sa HR natin. So this is where we step in. This is where we come in to provide that venue and platform for employees na maging alternative, safe place for them to voice out their concerns. Now, what happened dun sa Congress, uh, uh, ang Congress, ang committee hearing na yon, actually it's been a long battle for us. It started back in 2015 pa 16. We realized na, oo nga, sunshine industry tayo, bumubuhay sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Pero we realized na we don't have that needed protection, much needed protection, kung ano yung unique and dynamic characteristic na meron tayo sa industry natin. Yes, we are workers, we are covered by the labor code, pero the reality is may mga certain dynamics ang industry na hindi siya aligned or calibrated dun sa labor code. That's why we pushed for the Magna Carta for BPO workers or ito yung labor standards for the BPO industry. Ang objective and ang content ng uh, legislation na ito is magiging mandate siya for all BPO companies to recognize the constitutional granted rights ng mga workers, particularly sa BPO industry. Specifically, for example, yung usapin ng hazard pay.
Hazard
Alam
pay,
mo,
yeah.
nakakatuwang RV kasi just by looking at the sa group natin. Excuse me, sorry. Ang dami pala mga kumpanya na alam mo 'yun, they require employees to report to work in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a critical, pero they don't have the necessary protection for the workers. So this is where government can step in through legislation na supposedly mabigyan ng at the very minimum hazard pay ang mga workers sa BPO. Not only that, when you say kasi hazard pay, ano yun you're putting the life of a person at risk while doing work. Eh, pag mag-report tayo sa trabaho sa hating gabi, alam natin sa quarantine ngayon, walang enough transportation, hindi pa guaranteed yung uh, health protocol sa mga kumpanya natin. It's very risky. That's why we're pushing for that. That's one
Mm-mm.
among na nakapaloob dun sa Magna Carta for BPO workers that we're pushing sa Congress.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Alam mo, gusto ko yung unang highlight mo about the hazard pay kasi may mga
There.
companies talaga na hindi nabibigyan ng hazard pay itong mga agents na nagtatrabaho on site, which in my perspective kasi we deserve it eh. Kasi nga tama nga naman yung sinabi mo that we are risking our lives every day. Dapat kumbaga wala naman na tayong choice kasi kailangan natin if we are from work from home and we decided to quit because of some challenges with the technical issues and all. So we have a choice to go on site. Well, in some companies, hindi naman nila pinipilit ang mga ahente na pumasok sa trabaho if they don't feel safe. But for me, I think that's fair enough for these BPO companies to provide hazard pay because, like what you said, we are risking our life every day. Now, ano ba dapat sa law natin dito sa Pilipinas, for us to better understand? This is nothing about politics, guys, utang na loob. Wala muna tayong politics ngayon. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is law ng BPO, which is tayo yan. Okay? So, Ian, can you explain to me about, can you enlighten me? Ano ba talaga ang hazard pay? Is it mandatory for the companies to provide for people o discretion nila yon kung magbibigay?
Okay. So this is what's unique about our industry, no? Although kasi we are covered by the labor code, pero because our industry is also covered by the PEZA law, or if my memory serves me right, it's Republic Act 11. I can't really remember kung ano yung provision, ano yung Republic Act number, but we are covered by PEZA law. And under this law, there's a regulation na BPO companies can practice self-regulation. Excuse me. When you say self-regulation, whatever is the best practice for the industry, yun yung pwedeng sundin ng kumpanya. So, hindi siya standard. So, when we say it's not standard, a company may or may not apply kung ano man yung naka-indicate sa labor code. So, sa usapin ng hazard pay, that's correct, sabi nga ni Ken Vitalicio, discretion niya ng kumpanya. Yun yung concept ng self-regulation. So, ito yung nilalaban natin. And you're correct, this is not about politics. Basic principle lang naman dito is what's duly accorded for the BPO employee. Again, I'd like to reiterate, no, and I'd like to emphasize this to everyone. Hindi ito, hindi natin kaaway ang kumpanya. No, never nating intention na kalabanin yung kumpanya. Ang objective natin dito is tulungan yung mga companies natin on how to improve yung working environment ng mga kumpanya natin. And one way for that is to ensure na merong healthy and safe environment ang mga workers. Na kung sa usapin ng hazard pay, yes, discretion yan ng kumpanya, although mandated siya ng labor code, pero according nga sa self-regulation practices, it depends kung ano yung alternative sa hazard pay. So sinasabi ng mga kumpanya natin, we don't need the hazard pay because we provide transportation allowance for our employees. Meaning, may pambayad si kumpanya sa mga empleyado niya para pang Grab, pang taxi, pang commute. Yun yung idea dapat. What they fail to realize is na standard, pag sinabi mong transportation allowance, 1,500, hindi siya standard calibrated sa economic conditions natin, even here in Metro Manila. So, may mga ganung considerations. That's why it should be taken separately. Hindi siya dapat, pag sinabing wala na tayong hazard allowance, it should not be separate. It should be treated separately. Yun po.
Okay. Naiintindihan ko na yung ano. So, kumaga, hindi siya mandatory. But it is a standard one na dapat pinapractice ng mga BPO. Tama ba ako? Tama ako, no? Tama ako. Okay. So, at least, our fellow employee idea about it. Now, can we start answering questions? I'll read the questions to you. Naririnig mo pa ba ako?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go, RV.
Okay, let me just read some comments here. Wait lang ah. Nag-swipe ako from the top. Okay. This is about, since naman na operations manager you are very, very familiar with leave credits and all. Ano? So first question natin is from John Obriel Gulay. His question is, what if wala ng PTO or leave credits si agent and hindi naman nagbibigay ng shuttle si company and accommodations para kay agent at hindi na siya makapasok due to transport issues and wala din carpool po? Should they be accountable for that? May accountability ba yun dapat?
Okay, questions yan, RV, no? Issue ng leave credits and issue ng transportation. Una, yung sa leave credits, if you can go back to your contract, balikan ninyo yung contract ninyo, kung ano yung provision, ano yung stipulation. When the company says na it's accorded sa kay employee, meaning the agent, siya yung may right kung kailan at saan niya gagamitin yung leave niya, yung VL. That's clear. Under the law, the labor code, it's clear that the agent or the employee has the discretion, has the prerogative kung kailan gamitin ng VL. Minsan, ang nakarangin tayo ng mga TL or ng mga managers natin, gamitin ko na yung VL mo para magmatayin o para may sahod ka pa. Double-sided din kasi yan eh. Nahabol din na hindi siya mabawas sa liability. It's a metric na in some companies they apply. isang absent mo, bawas yan sa reliability. That's why they apply the VL. One. Second is, sasabihin sa'yo na para hindi ka na mabawasan ng sahod. So, medyo double-edged sword yung paggamit ng VL na pinipilit gamitin yung VL. But at the end of the day, we have to always remember na yung credit, vacation leave is a discretion and prerogative of employee. So, right worker kung gusto gamitin yung VL. Now, iba ko yung yung sick leave plan under it's required created by the labor code, yung minimum na 7 lang eh. Pero other companies, mayroong 10, mayroong 12, maswerte may 15. That's why here, kadalasan, kumpanya, don't use your sick leave, it's convertible to cash. Because under the law, sick leave is mandated. Now, kailan pwedeng gamitin ng SL? Pwede lang gamitin ng SL pag merong medical certificate na pinakita sa employee in the duration that he or she is absent. Now, syempre, again, ang kalakaran natin sa industriya, and this is an open secret to everyone, minsan, ginagamit natin yung SL tapat din sa VL. Kasi may mga instances ng SL, yung sick leave, will be taken against the liability pa rin ni agent. Or there are instances na yung sick leave can be taken against the adherence. Pero, pwede siyang gamitin nga, bayad pa rin si agent. So, may mga ganung considerations yan. Now, so to answer the question, pwede bang gamitin yung VL, mandated, etc., etc.? The answer is no. Kasi, again, it's the right and the privilege, prerogative ni agent kung kailan gamitin yung VL. Now, kung may usapan kayo ng TL mo, or na manager mo na gamitin yung SL, it's up to yun, management prerogative na yun. Yun yung
Hindi I think we lost the point there kasi ang question niya is wala na.
Wala na siyang VL.
Oo. At saka, wala siyang leave credits, wala na siyang PTO credits, tapos wala silang mode of transportation para makapasok sa office. So, will be taking against them?
Alam mo, RV, yeah, to answer that question straightforward, yes. Unfortunately, kawawa si agent sa ganun. Why? Because, yun nga, there's not enough guarantees or there's not enough security para sa worker, sa employee to be protected under these circumstances. Kasi, pag naubos na yung VL mo or SL mo at tapos walang transportation, the expectation from you is to find a way on how to report to work. Kasi the argument there is when you sign up sa company mo or when you applied to your company, nung interview pa lang, sasabihan ka, willing ka ba na mag-shifting? Willing ka ba? Diba? May mga ganong na most often than not are being used against workers or employees na supposedly hindi. So, unfortunately, to answer the question, yes, unfortunately, wala tayong magagawa doon. Pero may remedy. There's a legal remedy. And yun nga, if there's no due process. So, let's go back sa due process. Paano tinanggal si employee? Kung ang reason na tinanggal si employee is because of absences, how many number of days? And ano yung alternative niya? Can the employee file for a leave of absence? LOA. Kasi pag LOA yon, pwedeng, kasi nga no work, no pay tayo, pwede siya mag-LOA because of these reasons. Walang transportation, etc. Wala siyang leave credit. Pwede yon i-apply. Now, may catch yon. May management prerogative kasi. And when you say management prerogative, kung critical ba ang position ni employee or ni worker sa operations ng business. Kasi pag critical yung position niya, meaning hindi basta-basta nag-grant yung leave of absence. Now, ito yung kwento dyan. Kadalasan kasi pag frontline workers, mga tier 1, CSR1, CSR1, or even yung mga back office support, mga back office work, kadalasan sinasabi ng mga companies natin na ito, mga critical lines of work ito because sila yung kaharap ng mga ito, ng mga clients, ng mga customers. In reality, or sorry, not in reality, in truth pala, hindi. Kasi, pag sinabi mong critical yung position, it means pag absent employee, pag wala si employee, mababagsak yung productivity, babagsak yung revenue, babagsak ang profit, which in reality nga hindi naman nangyayari because merong hindi lang naman mag-isa si agent na tumatanggap ng calls. Hundreds yan or kung di man 10 or 100, marami yan, may alternative. Pag ikaw siguro senior operations manager ka or ikaw operations manager or ikaw critical support member, yes, yun masasabi natin critical. So hindi ka basta-basta pwedeng mag-file ng leave of absence. Pero kung mga agent level, there's no reason for the company to deny or to decline yung leave of absence. And dito na papasok yung legal remedy na pwedeng questionin ang due process na bakit siya tinanggal kahit valid ang reason ni agent sa pag-file ng leave of absence.
Okay. Thank you sa input. At least, guys, narinig niyo ba? At least yung may mga issues with their leaves and their PTOs, at least nasasagot na yung question. Kasi, I'm not vouching for our company, pero sa amin kasi, kapag ka talagang hindi mo kayang pumasok, kahit nga sabihin mo lang na you don't feel safe of going to work, walang accountability yun. Maiintindihan talaga ng ano yun. Kasi, siguro depende na lang din sa management, no? Kasi we have different management naman eh. They have different policies that we follow, ano? Siguro okay na at least nabigyan ng linaw for those na work process or due process when it comes to leaves and PTO na naubos na. And unfortunately, mayroon talagang mga bagay na unfair talaga para sa atin. We have to understand that. We have to extend our patience and understanding na sabi ko nga sa ilang live ko, no one is prepared for this pandemic, no? Wala naman may gusto nito at hindi naman talaga tayo lahat preparado. Maging mga kumpanya o tayo mga ahente, hindi naman tayo preparado diyan. Pero naniniwala ako na yung mga company na to is they're doing their best kahit papano para ma-accommodate lahat nung hinaing natin o nung needs natin. Now, since that nasa isang question pa lang tayo, proceed tayo sa next question. Okay lang. Kasi they have lots. Okay lang if I proceed?
Go RV, go lang.
Okay, sige. Alright. Dali lang ah. Ang dami na kasi natambakan. Sorry din, kumakain na ako kanina, nagsasalita ka, nagutom na ako. Wait lang.
Actually, segue lang din. Kasi kanina I was using my laptop to connect. Yung feature pala ng Facebook Live na sinasabi nilang green button, for cellphone use lang pala siya. Kaya medyo nahirapan ako kanina mag-connect. So, guys, I'm sorry talaga.
Sorry din. Hindi ko din alam yon. Thank you for the input. Okay, so, eto na. Wait lang ha. Wait lang guys, huwag nyo i-flood. Paano ko mababasa, lente? Wait lang. Hindi natin mababasa to kung tatatad nyo isa-isa lang.
Lang. Sige, rejoiner lang RV, no? Kasi may sinabi si Kyle Will Mark Lopez Turcula. Sabi niya, same if you have decided not to work, you are unable to work because di-enable yung work from home. So no work, no pay. Rejoiner ko lang, that's what we're advocating. Yan, sinabi mo nga kanina, RV, na gusto sana natin magkaroon ng standard. Yes, may kanya-kanyang management discretion, may kanya-kanyang management style. That's what creates the culture and the environment in isang company. And we respect that. Pero there should still be a standard, a minimum standard. Na kunyari, pag yun nga, may instance or may situation na hindi makapagtrabaho si employee because ang daming mga limitations like transportation, may health hazard, may mga domestic issues pa, may minimum standard dapat management on what to follow, on ano yung due process. Kadalasan kasi, we tend to dismiss it na, sige, mag-usap na lang kayo ng TL mo, mag-usap na lang kayo ng manager mo kung ano yung magandang gawin. Yun yung problema. Kasi, there are best practices and we appreciate those companies who practice best, yung mga best scenario setting, yung mga win-win situation, pero kawawa yung mga companies or kawawa yung mga employees na napunta sa management na balahura. And we don't want that to happen.
Agree ako sa'yo. Agree ako dyan. Kasi, at some point, sa akin kasi ang nakikita ko is, yung first wave natin o yung first week natin ng ECQ, most of the companies naman, they provided financial help. Like for example, some of the companies have already released their 13-month pay, yung tatlong buwan. Tapos some of the companies naman has a top-up on top of their basic salary. 50%, some are 80, some nga is 100. However, as the day goes by, ang tinitignan ko kasing perspective dyan, syempre, hindi naman natin ma-anticipate kung hanggang kailan tong pandemic na to, no? And when we are talking about BPO, it's a large company wherein they handle not only 10 but hundreds of thousands. No? Siguro, nagkaroon ng problema when it comes to hindi nila na-foresee kaagad na magkukulang sila sa budget. Sabihin na natin na gano'n. No? Kasi sa amin din, inalista din yung top up ng mga unable to work. No? It's either you go on site or it's either you work from home so that masasahuran ka dun sa mga araw na ipapasok pa. So, I think it only boils down to a conclusion that we really need to adjust and we really need to accept the fact na kapag ka napunta ka sa tama yung term mo na management na balahura talaga na walang pakialam sa mga ahente, these things would happen. Right? So, pero, ang tanong ko, iyan, di ba natin tong ilapit sa Congress? Is there any chance na magkaroon tayo ng any like a petition for part ng certain company na hindi ginagawa yung ganitong practice? Can we raise it up sa Congress? Something like that? Wala siya. Saan ka na? Yun.
Okay.
Nawawala ka, kuya.
Okay, sige.
Yan. Yun na. Tao po.
Ayan, can you still hear me, RV? Hello? 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 Hi. Okay. Sige. To answer your question, RV, yun nga, marami tayong pwedeng gawin. There's so many na pwede natin gawin. May mga extreme, may mga very basic. Let's start with the basic. Ano yung basic? Kausapin natin yung mga HR people natin. I assure you guys, mababait at welcoming yung mga HR ninyo. They're paid to do that. You can approach them. Huwag kayong matakot na kausapin yung mga HR ninyo. Like us, mga empleyado lang din sila ng kumpanya. Yun yung pinaka-basic na pwede natin gawin. If you feel na there's fear of retribution or if you feel na natatakot kayo na pag-initan kayo ng TL or ng manager, supposedly that's the reason why due process is in place para to protect you from retribution or to protect you from any untoward incident between you and your manager. Now, yun yung mga basic things na pwede natin gawin. Ano yung mga collective efforts naman na pwedeng gawin? Well, if you're afraid na ikaw lang mag-isa, try to find dito papasok yung support groups. That's why we have our team. That's why we have our um, friends. That's why we have people na pwede nating sandalan and utilize them. Gamitin natin ang support groups natin. Now, if you think it's not yet enough, then dito na papasok yung mga legal options. Ito yung outside of our companies na under the law. Ano ito? Ito yung labor code. Ito yung mga laws that govern labor practices in our country. So we can use them, we can utilize them. Ang problema kasi sa atin, kadalasan hindi natin alam ano ba ang proseso sa DOLE. Kadalasan hindi natin alam ano ba proseso sa mga batas natin. Hindi natin alam, oh may problema ako dito, anong gagawin ko, saan ako tatakbo, mag-NLRC ako kagad. Actually, hindi. No. Pag dumiretso kayo sa DOLE, ang unang tatanungin sa inyo ng DOLE, kinausap mo na ba yung HR mo? Kinausap mo na ba yung kumpanya mo? Kadalasan sinasabi natin, oo, nakausap ko na. Pero at the back of their minds, when they say, kinausap mo na ba yung kumpanya mo or yung HR mo, they thought na nag-go through ka na ba sa grievance process or sa due process ng kumpanya nyo. So the assumption there is na meron ng due process ng kumpanya. And pag inassume ng DOLE na meron ng due process ng kumpanya, automatic, sasabihin ni DOLE, okay, so okay naman pala si kumpanya. Kasi may due process. Doon pa lang, may problema na. Kasi, dapat ma-realize natin bilang empleyado na pag pumunta tayo sa DOLE, it means na hindi gumagana ang due process sa kumpanya natin. The reason why we're utilizing the legal remedies is because we know, supposedly, na ang due process sa kumpanya hindi gumagana. Yun yung assumption ng Department of Labor, which is wrong. Kaya nga, gusto nating baguhin din yon. That's why we are pushing together in this legislation sa Magna Carta. Ano ba yung magiging papel ng Department of Labor? Tagatanggap na lang ba sila ng reklamo? No. Ang gusto nating mangyari na ang Department of Labor proactively dapat mag-monitor and maninita ng mga kumpanya na hindi sumusunod sa standard, sa basic labor standards. Ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, pag walang nagreklamo sa DOLE, akala ng DOLE, okay, everything's sunshine and rainbow sa ating mga kumpanya. Which is not the case. Proactively, dapat may timely and regular monitoring si Labor Department for the practices being implemented in our company. So yun, those are alternatives. Syempre, yung pinaka-extreme na doon, I'd like to insert and I'd like to put this on the table then, that there's an alternative and an option for employees to organize themselves, build associations, in other industries, allowed ang unions. Sa atin kasi bawal ang union because of the PEZA law. And that's something that we want to look into as well. Pwedeng i-organize, kung di man mga association, pwedeng mga networks or interest groups. In other companies, they have special interest groups na mga clubs, etc., etc. You can create your own na yung interest nila. Say, for example, is support bodies. You make your own group, support groups in your companies na support bodies na pwedeng problema, kausap pag may problema. Parang peer support. You can do that. And companies practice that. So, yun yung mga alternatives na pwede nating i-explore.
Oh, thank you. Salamat sa Miss Universe na sagot. Masyado tayo kasing seryoso. Sumasakit yung brain cells ko.
Well, yeah.
And unprepared naman, kasi alam kong talagang seryoso yung usapan natin ngayon. And let me check the other questions, ha? Okay, ito. Hey, coming from, anong pangalan ng binasa mo kanina?
Hindi ko na siya makita eh. Nag-ano na.
Nag-flood na. Ito na lang. How about po sa mga site na may positive COVID cases pero naka-BAU pa din? Ang katwiran kasi nag-disinfect naman daw.
Okay, yes. Yan, medyo urgent yan, RV, no? And we want to get the help of everyone coming from that company. Actually, when I posted yung congressional hearing nga, I was really surprised. Nasa mahigit 200 plus na nag-send ng private messages ng DM sa akin. Almost one-fourth nun, 25% ng mga nag-message sa akin galing sa isang kumpanya. And that company, tawag dito, has that reported case na may COVID positive pero business as usual. So, here's the thing. Critical and very urgent yan. We already raised that issue sa IT Business Process Association of the Philippines. IBPAP, ito yung association ng mga BPO companies sa Pilipinas. They're governed by business executives in the industry, business leaders in the industry. And we raised that urgent concern to them. Ang commitment naman sa atin ng IBPAP is they're going to look into that urgently then, and I think when we had that meeting with IBPAP, they said that they already are in touch with the country head of that company to look into bakit as usual. Again, if things like this happen, it's not normal. And I want to encourage everyone to speak out pag nangyayari yan. Why? Because it's your health that is at risk. Oo, gusto nating tulungan ang kumpanya natin. We want to help our companies. But how can we help our companies if we can't even help ourselves? Just an update on that. So the IBPAP, we already reached out to IBPAP and their commitment is kinausap nila yung country head and they're going to look into that. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong kasi I got this from the grapevine lang din. Yung chismis lang siya. I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe workers from this company can help us out. Sinuspend yung ganong mechanism, yung DAU supposedly, parang nag-suspend na sila. So I don't know if it's true or not, pero if it's true, then that's good. But if it's not, then you let us know.
Okay. Can I ask you a favor about that? Kasi nga nanggaling na sa'yo that this is an urgent situation that we really need an action plan, as soon as possible. Hindi kasi ito po pwede na after a month, after 2 months, and so we need actions with that ASAP. Kasi me as a moderator of this group, I've been receiving hindi lang more than what you have received actually. Every day, every hour. And this is pertaining to different BPO companies. Kaya nga, ultimo yung referral namin is me, I am referring tenured agents and newbies sa mga companies na to. Ngayon, kapag nalalaman ko kasi na may positive cases, hinuhold ko. Kasi wala akong, mismo sa sarili ko, hindi ko alam kung parang, ayoko yung nararamdaman na parang ipapain mo sila going on site and then walang assurance if that specific site is already safe, no? Can we do a follow-up with that, Sir Ian, kung sakali? Kung nag-check na ba itong mga ano na to na tawag dito yung mga naka-assign na dapat mag-check sa BPO companies na yan?
Yes, actually, we have a follow-up meeting with IBPAP on Tuesday, and yun nga, ang commitment nga naman nila is to really look into what's going on in that company. We're confident naman na they're going to keep their word on that. Pero again, these are all on the executive level. When it comes to the implementation, nag-iiba yung setup. So we need help then on the field, the grassroots na. Kasi ito yung sinasabi ng mga bosses ninyo, this should be implemented sa baba. Kung ano man yung application or implementation nun, you let us know so that if anything na may mali pa din, we can call them out immediately. Now, with regard to the monitoring, yes, that's what we wanted DOLE to do. Ang sagot lang sa atin kasi ni ASEC Katutay, Assistant Secretary Katutay, who's in charge on the labor BLF, they're with this quarantine nga daw, with this pandemic, that they have limited resources sa ngayon, especially in monitoring sa local workforce. Mas focus kasi ngayon ng Department of Labor sa OFWs. And of course, we don't blame them. Pero it's still not an excuse. We don't think it's a valid excuse na pag may problema yung isa, kaligtaan na yung problema ng iba. So we still demand from the Department of Labor na dapat tutukan din yung kalagayan ng mga BPO workers. And we got the commitment from the and the rest of the committee members, pati yung DOLE at the time was present during the committee na when we submitted the report to them ng list of companies who had violations or infractions about sa IATF protocol on quarantine, etc., they're going to look into it immediately.
Okay. Thank you. I just need an assurance kahit papano kasi ang dami talaga. Sabihin na natin na almost 50% ng population ng mga BPO companies ngayon has positive cases. At hindi naman kasi to biro katulad ko na nag-on-site din ako. Everyday parang feeling namin yung isang paa namin nasa hukay, hindi namin alam kung uuwi ba kaming infected or what, ano. Tapos ito pa, mayroon pa ako nakitang isang question which is very important for everyone to understand. Ito may nag-message sa akin kasi to eh. Sabi ko mag-join siya dito para masagot yung question niya. Okay. There are some floating agents na hindi, is it legal?
Yes. To answer the question, it's legal. Under the labor code, when a person or employee is placed on floating status, no work, no pay, that means wala talagang bayad. Why? Because the idea there is if unproductive si employee, si worker, then there's no walang resource the company to provide compensation for that employee. Pero ano yung mga questions behind that? How long can employee be placed on floating status? Is the floating legal? Is there due process for putting or placing an employee on floating status? To answer the question, yes, may mga regulations yan. An employee or a worker can be placed on floating status for a maximum of 6 months. After that, after the 6 months and the employee is still placed on floating status, the employee has the legal right to demand a severance or separation pay. Clear yan na, after 6 months, pag naka-floating ka, or on the 6th month and floating ka pa din, you can demand from your employer severance or separation pay. How much is that? It's equivalent to the redundancy pay, which is 1 month equivalent of your salary times the number of years that you serve with the company plus the number of months that you are placed on floating status. It's clear sa labor
Alright,
code.
take note niyan,
Now,
Lisa. Importanteng yan. Info. Additional question. Kasi 'di ba sabi mo within 6 months dapat magkaroon sila ng parang kunyari lateral transfer or kaya account transfer, 'di ba? Doon sa 6 months na 'yon, may karapatan ba ang company na i-terminate ka?
Yes, they have. Now, yun nga, pero may regulation pa rin in RV kasi the question is, legal ba or valid ang paglagay sa kay-employee sa floating status? To answer the question, dapat may compelling reason si company yung floating status. Ano yung compelling reason? Account pull out. Let's be clear on that. Pag nilagay ka sa floating status, meaning ang valid reason ng company or ng management should be the account is being pulled out. And, may clause yan, there's an end. Walang paglalagyan sa ka-empleyado or kay worker sa ibang same level line of work. Why? Management prerogative, ito yung gusto nating baguhin, no? Management prerogative, empleyado. And they hire you based on your skills, based on your credentials, based on your experience. If they feel or if they think na wala kang experience, wala kang skill on a different platform or a different, then management has the prerogative not to transfer you to that account. Pero may sagot dyan, there's always a legal remedy. Ano yan? Ang sagot natin parati dyan, regular tayong empleyado. Tenured tayo. Hindi tayo contractual. Pero because nga na matter of fact is, yung outsourcing itself, the concept of outsourcing, ang clients natin yung nag-pull out. Meaning, walang magbabayad sa sahod mo kasi wala si client. Pero in reality, ang employer natin, which is our companies, supposedly they should find you an alternative work or an alternative job once you're placed on floating status. So, medyo masalimpot. Pero, uh, yun yung proseso doon. Pag nilagay ka sa floating, dapat compelling yung reason. Now, if compelling yung reason, is there no alternative platform in your company na pwede kang ilagay ng kumpanya mo? Ang kadalasan kasi nangyayari, magugulat tayo, floating tayo, ilagay tayo sa floating, pero pag nakita natin sa Facebook career page ng kumpanya na, hiring pala, mas ramping pala sa kumpanya namin, bakit nilagay ako sa floating status? To answer the question, kadalasan kasi your company or your management feels or thinks na you're not qualified for that role, which is kind of wrong. Dito na papasok yung legal remedy nga. Kasi ideally, your company should still hire you for that role because under the law, your company can, take note, can or may upskill your skills or upgrade your skills pala. They can train you. That's the idea. Pero for cost saving mechanism, instead of hiring you or instead of training you, kasi nare-retain yung sahod mo nare-retain yung mga benefits mo. Pag-hire sila ng mga bagong empleyado na hindi pa full ang benefits. Meaning, wala pa silang HMO, wala pa silang mga allowance, samantala ikaw, nag-training ka, pero na-enjoy mo na yung buong benefits sa kanya. And that's what we are trying to advocate. Yun yung gusto nating mangyari. I hope I answered the question.
Okay. So, okay. So, I now fully understand. So, dito sa may mga BPO na merong issues na tinatanggal yung mga tenured, so ito yung mga galing sa floating, tapos they would hire newbies o mga bagong empleyado. It's because it's a wise move for them dahil nga ito yung pumapasok yung benefits, ano? Dahil nga syempre kapag bago ka pa, you cannot use the 100% benefit kung ano yung sinign upan mo sa kontrata mo.
Yeah.
Tama ba?
The Department of
Okay.
Labor has mga cost-efficient mechanism.
Okay. Nagigets kita. Meron akong isang question dito. This is with regards with contributions naman, ano. Hi, good evening. Paano po yung mga company na updated ang hulog ng SSS and pag-ibig sa taong to? May lang nahulugan due to some employee mali daw sinabit at yung iba daw wala pang SSS. So kasalanan ba nung merong SSS and pag-ibig kaya delayed ang update? I already raised this issue to our HR and Compenben manager pero puro sila pangako. Can you please help?
Yes, under the law kasi si company, they're allowed to have an extension of up to 3 months or 1 quarter sa pag-deposit ng mga benefits sa SSS man yan, PhilHealth, or any government-mandated benefits. So, yes, ang tendency kasi nangyayari, other companies would antay nila na mag-accumulate yung 3rd month or yung 3 months, yung quarter, before they update yung SSS or yung mga government benefits. Meron na mga masisipag na real-time sila mag-update, pero meron kasi na, lalo na pag maliit lang yung HR nila, maliit lang yung payroll, kasi yung payroll sila din yung HR generalist, sila din yung time and timekeeping. Nangyayari, ina-accumulate nila before they process yung mga government-mandated benefits. So, I'd like to make it clear, yes, under the law, it's allowed to give time allowance for HR people to process whatever they need to process. And up to 3 months yan, up to 1 quarter. Now, beyond that, and wala pa rin yung SS benefits mo, then that's the time that you can approach yung BLRC, what's it called this? Bureau of Labor Relations, BLRC, compensation. You can approach the BLRC and file a complaint for non-compliance SSS and other government-mandated benefits.
Okay. Thank you so much doon, ano. Thank you, at least naliwanagan sila. Let's proceed with other questions. Hang on. Wait lang. Pagod ka na ba? Dami ko bang tanong? Sorry.
Ay,
Sorry,
update ka naman.
sorry. Okay. Okay lang, okay lang. Sandali. Wait lang. Saglit
RV, pwede pa
lang.
shoutout sa team ko ngayon.
Sige.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
I
Ayan.
think they're
Hello
watching.
po. Hi. Welcome to BPO Secret Files Community. Okay. Sir, pwede din ba kayo daw i-DM? I think you can. Para at least
Yes,
mas, kasi lahat ma-accommodate yung questions. No?
pero ano lang, RV, ngayon pa lang, I'd like to ask apologies na sa mga mag-PPM kasi pag hindi tayo friends, napupunta yung message sa filtered
Request.
message. So kailangan ko siyang tignan pa before ko ma-realize, ay, may message pala ako. So, minsan may delay.
Okay. Meron akong personal question. Wala na ako nakikita masyadong question. Ano. Kasi meron akong nakita, actually, personal kong kilala na nangihingi ng advice because ang nangyari sa kanila, may nag-pull out na account, tapos nalipat sila ng ibang LOB. They were trained for 2 weeks. Tapos after 2 weeks, tinrain na naman sila sa ibang account. Tapos, pag kailangan, kunyari, Smart and Globe tayo, no? Tinrain sila sa Smart, tapos after 2 weeks, tinrain naman sila sa Globe. Ngayon, pag kailangan ni Smart account ng agent, ipo-pull out sila kay Globe, and they need to work for Smart. And they are working 4/11 on site.
Okay.
Any input about that? We want to understand how since project manager ka naman, ano, paano nagkakaroon ng ganitong problema? Legal ba 'yun?
Sige. I think I need more context on that, RV. Kasi yung assignment mo, yung role mo, if you go back to your contract, this is clear, no? You have to go back to your contracts kung ano yung provision ng job description. So when they say, let's say, for example, customer service representative, technical support representative, customer service associate, yung mga ganong title, may mga underlying job description yan na any task or any job or any work that company may ask from you. May mga ganong provisions eh. So, the tendency is, pag may mga ganong clauses at hindi siya clear and or hindi siya clear or vague siya para sa atin, nangyayari is they can use that uh, as as a reason to naligal yung process nila of transferring agents or employees from one account, one LOB to another uh, instantaneously. Na parang, okay, tonight, ito yung shift mo, ito yung trabaho mo, by tomorrow, iba na yung scope of work mo. Yes, unfortunately, it can, and companies or management have the prerogative to do that. But, again, balik tayo dun sa best practices. Ano ba yung best practice sana? Ano bang pinakamagandang process for that sana? Ideally, what we want to happen is give time for employees to make the adjustment. From one LOB to another, at least prior notice, at least 48 hours prior notice before isasalang ka sa isang bagong LOB na hindi mo alam. Now, regarding sa shift at change or shift schedule, guys, take note of this hindi pwede na mag-change ka ng schedule or mag-shift ka ng schedule less than 12 hours. So let's say if your shift today is anong oras na ba? It's 9 to 6 ka today, hindi pwede na yung shift mo tomorrow is less than 9. So meaning yung shift mo dapat more than 9. Make sense? Kasi under the law, you are required to have at least 10 hours of rest. So, pag magkaroon man ng mga shift changes, that's why sa other companies, may mga split off. Kasi the objective of the reason of the purpose of the split off is to allow the agent to adjust the schedule. So, let's be clear on that. If that happens sa mga shifting or schedule change, The very least, very minimum is 12 hours interval.
Mm-mm. Okay, okay. So ito pa, merong additional questions pertaining to that. Feeling ko may connection to doon. Is it allowed that the employees handle 5 LOBs on the same day shift with no additional pay?
Ah, alam mo, gusto ko mang sabihin na hindi. Sarap sana sabihin na every work that you do dapat compensated ng kumpanya. But in reality and under the law, yes, they can do that. Why? Because
Like,
ng contract natin, I want try to go back sa provisions ng contract ninyo. Kadalasan kasi, in any other task may be assigned to you. Ganun ka very big ang ganun ka very big ang contract natin na they can give you as much as 5, 6, or even more than that tasks. Pero they're not required to give additional allowance or additional compensation. Other
they are
companies,
not
what they do
required.
is, kunyari, basic pay, they're not required. Other companies, what they do is, basic pay mo, let's say, as a CSR or CSR, let's say 20,000. Kasi mataas na nga yan eh. Assuming na 20,000. Ang ginagawa ng iba, pag may additional task sa'yo, bibigyan ka nila ng allowance ng 2,000. And for every task or ad hoc task, we call them ad hoc task, allowance. So, kunyari, agent ka, pero pinaggawa ka ng SME role, akala mo promotion, pero in reality, hindi yun promotion. Ad hoc task lang yan. They build it up as a career growth, but in reality, it's just an additional task for you. Ang gusto nga sana nating mangyari, and ito yung best practice sa industry natin, best practice mga companies natin, in any task that you do, let's say from agent level, bigyan ka ng additional task na mag-SME, by paper dapat, i-practice ka agad na you are being promoted or you are being designated, not necessarily promoted, designated as a floor support or as an SME. Ganun sana gusto nating mangyari.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, gets ko na. We also have another question from Kenneth Estacio Vitalicio or Vitalicio. Account is being pulled up in this company and then there is a replacement na for this account. Babawasan daw po yung sahod. Is that allowed or possible?
It's not allowed. Under the law, it's illegal for any company to reduce the compensation, basic pay to we're talking about basic pay. It's illegal for any company to reduce the basic pay of any worker or employee. Ano yan? Diminution of benefits. And under the law, it's unfair labor practice. Pwedeng makasuhan si kumpanya. So, anong nangyayari? Anong sa industry natin? Ang kalakaran is, they will ask you to resign and they will ask you to kaya nga nakakapagtataka na regular ka na empleyado, tenured ka, pero magulat ka, interview ulit, o kung di man ipirma ka ng bagong kontrata. Again, before you sign anything, and this is a best practice, before you sign anything, any paper or any document in your company, you have 24 hours. Legally, you are allowed to read and consult
Legal.
Consult other people any documents you're going to sign within 24 hours.
Okay. Additional question lang, Sir Ian. So, sa pagkakakita ko, based sa sinasabi mo, it's for example, natapos na yung contract ko kay ganitong LOB, no? Tapos dahil na-pull out, Ngayon, nag-apply naman ako sa ibang account. Binigyan ako ng kontrata pero mas mababa dun sa offer nung dati kong account. Yun, okay yun. Okay lang ba yun?
Actually, yan yung work around ng mga companies eh. Nakakalungkot man sabihin pero yes, it's allowed. Because technically, you sign in your contract, meaning bago na yung kontrata mo with the company. Hindi na yon binding ang nangyaring kontrata before. So, the tendency is back to zero ka. Swerte, pag carry over yung mga benefits, carry over yung tenure, pwede yun. Pero pag nagpirma ng
Sortihan
bagong
lang.
kontrata na may bagong sahod, ibig sabihin back to zero ka. Yes,
Okay,
it's
okay.
legal, pero again, if it's legal, it's right.
Okay, alright. Okay, meron pa ako isang personal question. Isa to sa mga nag-PM sa akin kanina. Bale, ang ano niya is yung asawa niya daw is na-float ba yun, Freddy? Yung pinarward ko sa'yo. Na-float siya. Tapos, pagbalik niya sa office, tinarm siya. At nung tinatanong niya yung dahilan sa HR, ang sinabi sa kanya is hindi daw pwedeng i-disclose. Can you give inputs? Kasi nanonood siya. Kung anong dapat nilang gawin. Kasi dapat diba dinidisclose yun?
What do you mean hindi pwedeng i-disclose publicly? Disclose to anyone? What do you
Sa
mean
kanya. Sa
hindi pwedeng
kanya.
i-disclose?
Hindi pwedeng i-disclose sa kanya kung bakit terminated siya.
I know, hindi pwede yan. Again, it's unfair labor practice. Pwedeng kasuhan si company niyan. Why? Because any action of the company that may affect you or your work, take note that affect you. Meaning, makasama yung trabaho mo or ikaw personally, you have the right to know ano yung mga reason behind. Kadalasan, ang sinasabi sa atin ng mga companies natin na management prerogative. Unang rason yan. Common yan. It's a management prerogative. Pag sinabi mo na management prerogative, okay, wala tayong. Pangalawa, business need. Yun yung ito yung commonly used excuses ng mga companies natin. Management prerogative for business need. If that's the case, then yun yung reason. So, yung alternative to the employee ni worker is pag mag-request tayo, what do you mean business need? What do you mean management prerogative? Pag umabot sa point na yun at walang binigay na dahilan pa rin si kumpanya, doon pwede na tayo punta sa DOLE.
Okay, okay. Meron tayong question dito, isa pa.
Pero hindi pwedeng sabihin ni kumpanya na, ay sorry, hindi pwedeng i-disclose ang reason. Pag sinabing hindi pwedeng i-disclose ang reason, liable si company nun. You have to take note of that.
Okay, sige. I-DM kita about dyan. At may additional question tayo. May mga na-declare as terminated due to retrenchment daw, but take note, May 11, may nag-graduate silang trainees sa same account, then May 12, tinanggal nila kami dahil retrenchment daw. We have screenshot na nag-graduate yung new trainees. Legal ba to?
Declare terminated due to retrenchment. Take
Mm-mm.
note, trainees. Sa same account din. I think I need more context. Kasi is this same account ba ito? Magkaibang account? And ano yung mga circumstances behind? Nag-pull out ba yung account? Na-put hold ba yung program or yung account mismo? Ano yung nangyari? Pero I think to give an overview, pag probationary agent or probationary employee, ito yung masaklap na reality. We are at the mercy of our company. Kasi pag sinabi nating probationary, meaning we don't enjoy the security of tenure. When we say security of tenure, every action that we do in our company is subject to evaluation, assessment, and anytime they can end your contract. They can terminate us.
Anytime.
For grounds na hindi natin nasunod yung expectation nila. So, to
So
answer yung
regardless kung
question na I think ito nag-follow up si Happy Joy. Hindi po nag-pull out ang account. Sabi nila lugi daw yung account. Then may new trainees sila. Kaming mga regular employee tinanggal. Okay. again, like what I said kanina, no, mga ano yan, mga cost saving mechanisms na ginagawa ng mga kumpanya natin because pag new hire si employee, they don't get to enjoy the full benefit. Walang binabayaran si company na HMO, walang binabayaran na additional allowances, walang binabayaran ng mga leaves. Ang kaya lang ibigay ng kumpanya sa inyo ay yung basic pay and at the same time, uh, uh, mga government mandated benefits. Kung 5 years and more na, more likely na tawag dito na you enjoy a lot of benefits from the company. And if they hire new employees, they won't have to pay employees, the new hire employees, the same benefits like what you enjoy. I think that my question there, Happy Joy, sagutin ko na lang, Arvino. Ano yung reason behind? Ano yung binigay na dahilan sa inyo ni company why kayo tinanggal?
Sorry. Sorry pa kayo.
Wala. Sagutin ko na lang ni Rex Gabaleo. Ilang months or ilang beses i-renew probationary status para ma-consider sa posisyon. Guys, take note, maximum is 6 months. Pero, take note, merong management prerogative the company to extend yung probationary period mo for up to 1 year.
Extend ako yung panty.
Lugi po daw yung company. No, it's not a valid reason. Sa experience natin, pag nilaban natin sa DOLE, magre-require si DOLE ng show cause notice, ng show cause, SCN. Maglalabas ng SCN si DOLE sa kay kumpanya na ilalabas yung audit. And I don't think na the company would want to go through that process na i-audit sila ng DOLE simply because sasabihin nila nalulugi sila. No, I don't think that's the reason. There are other reason na binibigay si company. Happy Joy, yes, pwede. Actually, you can. So, RV, na lang kung paano ba yung proseso sa DOLE. Kasi nga, nabanggit ko kanina, kadalasan, hindi natin alam paano yung proseso sa pagreklamo sa DOLE. So, for everyone's benefit, the moment that we want to file a case sa DOLE, ang assumption nga kasi dyan is we follow the due process sa companies natin. So let's be clear on that. Na you have to make sure that you followed whatever grievance process ng kumpanya ninyo. And when you say grievance process, nausap nyo na si HR, nag-file na kayo ng complaint or incident report sa kay HR generalist or kay HR VP ninyo, ng business partners ninyo, nagkaroon na ng hearing. After ng hearing, nagkaroon na ba ng decision? Ito yung sinasabing due process ni DOLE. Now, the tendency is, it's either out of fear of retribution niya or natatakot tayo na pag-initan ng HR or ng mga boss natin, didiretso tayo sa DOLE. Now, anong mangyayari pag dumiretso tayo sa DOLE? Normally, sasabihin sa'yo ng DOLE, kinausap mo na ba yung HR nyo? Sagutin na, oo, kinausap ko na yung HR. Ang process doon is, pupunta tayo sa SENA. Kadalasan kasi we think na, ay, diretso tayo sa NLRC, sa National Labor Relations Commission. No. Excuse me. Pupunta muna tayo sa SENA. Ano yung SENA? Yung SENA is the Single Entry Negotiation Arbitration. Yung SENA, hindi pa to quasi-judicial, meaning wala pang judicial jurisdiction, wala pang judicial powers yung hearing. Para ano lang, sige, pag-usapan natin problema nyo, pero wala pa tong sanction or anything. Magkakaroon lang ng sanction si kumpanya pag umabot na sa NLRC. So sa SENA, kaya nga siya tinawag na negotiation because arbitration siya between you as the employee and as the aggrieved employee and the employer. So meaning, compromise. Dito papasok si DOLE ng gusto niya mangyari, pag-compromise si employee at si employer. Ano bang gustong mangyari at anong pwedeng gawin? Mediation, sabi ni April. Yes, sort of mediation nga siya. Pero when you say kasi mediation, mas NLRC yun eh. So sa SENA, wala itong sanction. So let's say for example, nag-usap kayo sa arbiter, ang sabi ng arbiter, sige, itong pwede niyong gawin, o ano, papayag ka ba, employee? Pag pumayag ka, case resolved. Pag hindi pumayag si employee, dun pa lang ma-escalate ang kaso papunta sa NLRC. When you say escalate yung case sa NLRC, meaning papasok na kayo sa parang quasi-judicial process. Sa korte, under the judicial process, ang NLRC, ang equivalent nito ay ang regional trial court. So meaning, pag pumunta ka sa NLRC, kailangan nyo ng abogado. Kayo pwede pumunta ng NLRC na kayo lang kasi kailangan nyo ng legal representation. And this is where our services come in sa BNPP. Kasi we can provide pro bono lawyers, labor lawyers who can assist you pag kailangan nyo na ng tulong sa NLRC. Now, ano yung proseso sa NLRC? Kadalasan, tatlong hearing yan. Yung preliminary, kung saan ilalate ko ano yung case, magkakaroon ng investigation, magkakaroon niya ng mga site visits, magkakaroon niya ng mga, depende kung ano yung kaso. And dito na magkakaroon ng sanction sa kay employer if NLRC finds out na liable si company. When we say sanction, may penalty. And yung penalty can range from, a minimum amount, kunyari, penalty ng 10,000, 50,000, depende, or to a maximum, pwedeng matanggal ng license ng company. Ito yung power ng NLRC. Let me go back pala sa SENA, no? Sa SENA pa lang, meron na doon, ano ba yung remedy na gusto mangyari ni employee. Sa SENA pa lang, pwede tayong mag-demand ng reinstatement. Pwede tayong mag-demand ng bayaran ka ng benefit. Yun yung mga kadalasan. Pero pag nasa NLRC na, dito na papasok yung mga damages. So moral damages, exemplary damages, and kadalasan pag nagkaroon na ng sanction, required si company na magbayad sa ka-employee ng mga danyos. Ito yung tinatawag natin danyos. Pero of course, pag umabot na sa NLRC, don't expect that the employer will be nice to you. Don't expect that the company will still reinstate you. Kasi yun yung objective ng SENA eh. Ang gusto mong mangyari ng SENA na pwedeng compromising, pwedeng ibalik ka sa trabaho. Pero pag umabot na sa NLRC, don't expect that your company will still accept. Yun yung process.
Okay, gets ko. Follow-up question. Kunyari, nanalo ka sa kaso from DOLE, ano? Pwede ka naman mag-apply sa iba, no? Hindi ba ito yung parang may organization ng mga BPO na may records ka na nireklamo mo
No.
ganyan. So, hindi ka na makakapag-apply sa iba, ganyan.
Alam mo, RV, that's a very funny story. There's a funny story personally for me sa ganyan. No? Pero, sige, 16 lang, no. Pwede ka pa rin mag-apply sa ibang kumpanya. Again, huwag tayong matakot dyan. Okay? Huwag tayong matakot dyan. Kasi at the end of the day, you are being measured by your skills, by your qualifications, by your credentials, by your experience. Masaklap lang pag yung nilapit yung kumpanyang lilipatan mo ay nagkataon na kung sino man yung boss mo kumpanyang yon. Yun lang naman yung masaklap doon. Pero other than that, there's no other for another company, for other companies to deny your application to them merely because you have cases or pending cases sa ibang kumpanya.
Okay. Ito pa, may isa pa. Remember the triple pay last April? No work, no pay kami during that time. May habol pa ba kami para makuha yon? Yun yung... Ano bang ano yun, yung April?
So, yun, it's the Holy Week. Tapos nagkataon na April 12 is araw ng kagitingan. April 9, araw ng kagitingan. So, araw ng kagitingan, Holy Week, I think it's a Monday, Thursday, or Good Friday ata yun.
Sabay yun.
Sabay yun. So, the question is, pumasok ba si employee or hindi? pag pumasok si employee, regardless kung work from home or
Bayad.
bayad, yun dapat triple pay. Now, if the
Pero
employee
kung
did
hindi
not
ka
report to
pumasok,
work, then ano lang, it's a regular, ano lang,
regular pay lang.
lang for just one. Hindi ka pwedeng itag as against your, dito, bayad pa rin siya on pay, hindi siya triple pay.
Right, so I think browsing on the comment section, wala na tayong masyadong katanungan. No? And I'm so sorry, alam kong medyo madami tayong question. Actually, konti pa to eh. Siguro kung hindi tayo nagkaroon ng technical difficulties kanina, ang dami ng question doon sa unang live even before you joined. Ito, meron pang question. Hindi, ito na. May mga sumasagot naman. You know, the good thing about this conversation na meron tayo ngayon is at least yung mga co-employees natin will have a better understanding kung paano ba talaga harapin yung mga challenges na na-experience nila from work. Kasi most of the time, pag feeling natin na katulad ng sinabi mo kanina, if we feel na parang naaagrabyado tayo, ang laging nating sagot is DOLE. Which is, pagdating doon, sabi ko nga, tatanungin din naman sila dyan kung meron ng due process na sinunod, no? Which they have to understand na sila mismo dapat kumilos din. Kasi nangyayari, dahil nga takot sila or what, or alam nila sa sarili nila mismo, alam naman nila sa sarili nila mismo na may pagkukulang din sila or hindi naman talaga sila ganun ka-confident na ilaban, ang mangyayari, i-rant na lang. Madadagdagan pa yung kwento minsan o kaya mababawasan kung ano talaga yung nangyari. So, I really appreciate of you taking time tonight na mai-discuss ito sa ating mga kapatid na bayaning puyat kasi para at least alam na nila yung dapat gawin. Thank you talaga. Do you have any message for them?
And thank you din sa opportunity no, na very quickly, RV. Yun nga, thank you din for the opportunity to share our views sa platform ninyo. And actually, if you want, we can do this regularly on a timely basis. No? Kailangan talaga maraming mga glaring issues sa industry natin, then we can do this again. What we want to happen kasi is, number one, to empower our employees. At the end of the day, sinasabi kasi ng mga kumpanya natin, empleyado ka lang ng kumpanya. Kumbaga, takuran ka dito. That's true, in essence, pero they have to understand, pag wala tayo, wala yung mga empleyado, wala ring mag-generate ng profit for our companies. So, ang question nga parati doon, and this is what I always tell my agents or the people I work with, always, it doesn't mean na ako yung boss niyo. Parating ako yung tama. Or kami yung nasa management, tama parati yung ginagawa namin. There's a reason kung bakit may feedback mechanism and nagpapa-FGD tayo, may mga papasurvey tayo on a regular basis kasi we want to get feedback from our employees, from our agents. And what's important about it is we need to speak out. And part of empowering our people, our employees, is huwag tayong matakot magsalita. Now, kung medyo nahihiya tayo kasi hindi tayo sure sa sasabihin natin, dito papasok ang support groups. Ano yung mga support groups? Your friends, your peers. And in any case, in any instances, there are other people outside your companies who are willing to help and willing to support you. Yung organization that I represent, Bien Philippines, is just one of it. Marami pa yan dyan. Our platform is matulungan. Gusto nating matulungan ang mga empleyado, ang mga BPO workers, kung ano ba yung options nila other than sa pagrarat lang sa social media. So, again, our organization is open for this and we welcome everyone. If you have any concerns or any issues, Bien Philippines, you can check our Facebook page na rin, plug na rin our RV. You can check our Facebook page.
Yeah.
we have
Mayroon
a
pa akong
wide net.
question.
Ay, go ahead. Sige, go lang.
From me. This is from me, no? Ito, balik tayo kay COVID cases, no? Paano kunyari, you feel like, hindi ni-disclose sa mga employees yung, like for example, the real score of, or the real total numbers of na positive sa site, ano? And there are still ongoing sa production. Anong masasuggest mo?
Medyo sensitive nga yan, RV, kasi dalawa yan eh. Either we want to protect the identities of those positive, and we want to protect then the interest of the rest of the employees. So it's a balancing act. Now, how should we handle that? If uh, by protocol, let's follow the protocol. Ano yung protocol? If there's kahit isa lang, any individual who tested positive for COVID, automatic operations for that floor, not just for that floor, for that location should be suspended. There should be
Suspended.
contact tracing,
For how
and there
long?
should be quarantine protocols, especially those yung mga nakasalamu. It depends. Kasi suspension of work will depend on how wide or gaano kalawak yung exposure ni COVID patient. Kasi pag let's say hindi naman siya pag-alagaan, isang particular area lang naman siya, then yes, you can isolate the area, you can disinfect the area, and then you can continue operation. Ideally.
Okay. So,
Pero alam naman natin, in reality, hindi ganyan eh.
hindi nga.
Hindi naman ganyan. Kasi pag ako, kunyari, example ako, pupunta ako ng opisina, pupunta akong pantry, pupunta ako ng smoking area, pupunta ako ng parking, pupunta ako doon, yayain ako na pupunta ng Starbucks, yayain ako ng McDo. Alam mo yun, may mga ganong, alam natin yung realidad pag pumapasok sa trabaho. So, these things, all of this should be considered. However, ang nangyayari nga, we just think na, hindi, kasi second floor lang naman si employee eh. So, meaning, let's just isolate the second floor. It doesn't work that way. That's not how contact tracing works. Nangyayari, ganun siya. And that's wrong. And under quarantine protocols ng government, you can pwedeng isangguni ito sa LGU so that the LGU can immediately call the attention of the company. Now, yung case nga nun sa company na yun, what we did is we called the attention of the executives, of the business executives, the business leaders. Okay. And I think yun nga, they suspended the operation. Excuse me. So to answer how long yung quarantine, well, to follow the ng IATF, it should be at least 14 days if you tested positive.
Okay. Kasi, just to add up, ang alam ko din kasi dyan,
Go, RV.
Based din sa mga na-gather ko na information from some of the managers sa ibang company, is once na may positive sa isang site, regardless kung anong floor yon, it should be an immediate 36 hours disinfection of the whole building.
Yes, it should be of the whole building. Hindi lang siya ng specific floor. And yun nga, quarantine protocol. So, kung question is kung suspended ba yung operation, yes, it should be suspended. Should employees be placed on quarantine na may exposure sa kay employee, sa kay positive patient.
At kapag nasuspend yung operations, Dapat ba bayad ang mga empleyado?
Go, RV.
Narinig
Uh,
mo?
to answer, straightforward, no. Ito yung mga rare instances, for instances, circumstances na hindi required si employer magbigay ng compensation sa kay employee. Kasi nga, suspended ang work. There's no revenue generation. However, take note, however, may VL, balik tayo sa usapin ng VL, pag may VL credit si employee, pwedeng gamitin yun. Or usapan na ninyo with your manager or ng TL ninyo kung may SL and papayag si company nun, then yes, pwedeng gamitin. As long you have leave credit, you can do that. Pero
Okay.
on a normal basis, no. Hindi required si employer magbigay ng compensation if operation is placed under suspension.
Okay. Yan lang naman yung personal question ko. I'm just wondering. So, at least may idea na ako how it works. Ayun. So, ayun. Dami nating napag-usapan. Maraming salamat sa oras mo, ha. And may PPM ako sa'yo. Let's talk. May additional, concerns. Pero, sa atin na lang. So, do you have any... Ano yun?
Okay. I think nasagot ko na to kanina. Sorry. Tanong niya is kung kailan malaman a meeting about companies na may COVID cases about the DAU. Sige. As soon after our meeting with IBPAP, probably on Tuesday or Tuesday ata yun. After our meeting, I'm going to send the update sa group na rin so that you will be updated on ano yung nangyari. There. That's it, RV.
Yep. So, thank you so much, Sir Ian, for giving us time na makausap ka at least. I'm expecting a better understanding with our employees na. At least alam na nila kung anong mga dapat nilang action na gawin. Now, if there's gonna be another confession to our group that concerns about the things that we have discussed na may dagdag na tanong, I'll just message you directly. Pwede ba yun?
No problem. Sige po. And again, thank you.
Ay,
on your platform.
thank you. Okay, thank you. So, you can leave the live session. I'll just have a word with them. Alright, guys. So, ayun, there you have it. We already talked to Sir Ian. So, I really do hope that most of your questions were answered already. Actually, hindi lang naman siyang sumasagot. Even my friends are answering to your questions. And some of our mga kapatid sumasagot dyan. So again, if you have issues with your company, always follow the due process. Doon muna tayo sa proseso. Ngayon, kapag hindi umaksyon si HR, punta tayo kay DOLE. As long as you have the necessary documents, no? And nag-assure naman si Sir Ian na if you really need help or if badly needed na yung tulong niya, then he can help us or he can help you. You can always message me directly if you have concerns about that. Sorry lang talaga, I wanna apologize kung medyo late ako mag-respond doon sa message request. Minsan umaabot ng 2 araw kasi ang dami, guys. Medyo hindi ko na bibigyang focus lalo na pag weekdays kasi I'm working. Rest day lang kasi yung pinakapahinga namin. So, but I'll promise that ma-entertain lahat at ma-assist lahat ng questions ninyo. So, again, I won't waste your time anymore. So, have a good and nice sleep, everyone. So, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And again, my name is Grace and RV Grace pala. And abangan nyo nga pala yung susunod kong vlog. May content there will be daily routine ko, paano pumasok sa work. Tapos magdadagdag tayo ng I was able to convince some of agents anonymously na nag-PUI before, and we're gonna highlight them on how they
cope up, kung paano sila naka-recover, paano nila hinarap yung depression, anong discrimination yung natanggap nila from other people. For me, I think since naman na kinlaim ko na yung pagiging katipunera ninyong mga bayaning puyat is kailangan yung mga content kasi natin is connected doon. Ayoko ng mga pa-tweetums kasi na vlog eh. Gusto ko yung reality tayo eh. So, pumayag naman yung nakausap ko na i-share yung experience niya during the PUI days. 14 days yan, di ba? So, ayun, para lang baka sakali na maibsan yung discrimination na nararanasan nila kasi wala namang gusto na magkasakit sila or ma-PUI sila. Kasi pag sinabi mo namang PUI is person under investigation. So, unfortunately, madami tayong kapwa bayaning puyat na nakakaranas ng discrimination because of that because they don't have the proper knowledge kung ano ba talaga ang PUI. So, abangan nyo yan. I'm gonna work on that and I'm gonna make sure na better na yung audio natin doon sa next vlog. So, yun lang. So, have a great night and thank you for watching. Bye-bye po. Love you.